Are you considering a new rewards credit card and are curious about some popular as well as some perhaps lesser known offerings? Well, in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at 5 cards that I've had my eye on for one reason or another, including some truly out there options. Hey everyone, this is Kyle from Money at 30, and on this channel we look at personal finance from a millennial perspective, including credit card review videos like this one. For all of the times that I've said I'm good with the number of rewards cards I currently have in my wallet, time has shown that I'm always interested in adding more, whether for the rewards and perks they offer or just a nice sign-up bonus. And while this happens fairly often with a wide variety of options, there are a few that have risen to the top of my radar. So what are these cards that have piqued my interest but haven't received an application just yet? Let's take a look at 5 of them, including some potentially head-scratching picks. The first card I have on my list is the increasingly popular Capital One Venture X. If you've watched many credit card focused videos over the past several months, then you've undoubtedly heard the hype surrounding the Capital One Venture X card. This highly anticipated product marks Capital One's entry into the higher end travel card market and has made a splash for a few reasons. For one, while the card carries a $395 annual fee, that's immediately offset by an annual $300 travel credit on bookings through Capital One Travel. Assuming you value this credit as cash, this puts the card's effective annual fee at $95, which happens to match that of the regular Venture card. Plus, when you renew the card in subsequent years, you'll earn 10,000 bonus miles, which will be worth at least $100. What also makes the Venture X notable is that its debut coincided with the launch of the first Capital One Lounge, with cardholders receiving complimentary access to this and future locations. As for rewards, there's good and bad news in my opinion. On the list of pros, just like the regular Venture card, the X has a base of 2 miles per dollar spent on all purchases. But while the card does allow cardholders to earn up to 5x on flights and 10x on hotels and rental car bookings, these rewards rates are limited to bookings made via Capital One Travel. All in all, while I do think that the Capital One Venture X is an interesting card, personally, I think I'll wait until the lounge network is larger and has locations at airports I tend to frequent more. However, for those looking for an easy travel card entry point, this could definitely be the one. Sticking with the travel theme, another one I've been interested in for a while is the US Bank Altitude Reserve card. Another premium travel card option that I found fascinating is the US Bank Altitude Reserve. Somewhat similar to the Venture X, this card's $400 annual fee is heavily offset by the $325 in annual credits, which in this case can be used on any eligible travel or dining purchase, making them extremely easy to use. As for rewards, while the 5 points per dollar spent on hotel and car rental bookings made directly in the Altitude Reserve Center category doesn't really interest me, the 3x points on eligible travel purchases, and more importantly, mobile wallet spending category does. With acceptance of Apple Pay and similar offerings continuing to grow, I could easily imagine this translating to earning 3x points on plenty of purchases that don't otherwise fall under any enhanced categories covered by my other cards. What's even better is that this 3x could effectively be 4.5x if I use the points for travel purchases. That's because the Altitude Reserve's points are worth 50% more when redeemed for eligible travel expenses. If I had to guess which of the cards on this list were most likely to be added to my wallet in time, I'd have to go with this one for the reasons I've mentioned. However, before that happens, I'll need to open an account with US Bank as it is exclusive to banking customers. While that is a minor inconvenience, I still think it could be well worth it if everything the card boasts turns out to be as good as it sounds. Moving into the more specialized portion of my list while still sticking in the travel realm, I have considered the Untitled World Mastercard from Allegiant Airlines. Since moving to Springfield 7 years ago, there are 2 airlines I've flown more than any others. The first is Delta, but the other is Allegiant, as it offers direct flights from our home airport to cities such as Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and Sanford, Florida near Orlando. Of course, the Allegiant flight experience is a bit different than the likes of Delta, as you'll often need to pay a la carte for everything from carry-on luggage to in-flight beverages. That's why the Untitled World Mastercard might make sense for those flying the airline with any real frequency. This card earns 3 points per dollar spent on Allegiant purchases, 2x points on dining purchases, and 1x on everything else. While those aren't very exciting multipliers, the real power of this card is in the perks. For one, cardholders receive complimentary priority boarding, which you'd otherwise have to pay for, and which is a must-have for me if I'm going to need overhead space on board. Similarly, card members will also receive 1 free beverage every time you fly the airline. With an annual fee of $59, these perks alone would make up for that cost with a few round trips per year. Meanwhile, the points you earn are easily redeemable for Allegiant purchases. Truth be told, I got very close to applying for this card when I received an increased bonus offer earlier this year. But with no current Allegiant trips on our calendar, we decided to once again hold off. But should you find yourself flying the budget airline often, this one might be a good investment. Next, I'll get the most random and really unlikely one out of the way, the Mgm Rewards Mastercard. To Despite being someone who doesn't drink and only really gambles if someone else is bankrolling, my wife and I really enjoy visiting Las Vegas. And while we've stayed at a number of places up and down the strip, we tend to gravitate towards MGM locations. That's why I've often considered the idea of getting the Mgm Rewards Mastercard. With this card, you'll earn 3 points and tier credits per dollar spent at MGM Rewards destinations, 2x points and tier credits on gas and supermarket purchases, and 1x points and tier credits on everything else. Other perks include complimentary Pearl level status, priority hotel check-in, and more. The upside here is that if you could spend enough on the card to reach gold status, you'd be able to receive waived resort fees on stays, among other perks. Of course, that would take quite a bit of spend to reach. Plus, the points you earn in the process can pretty much only be used at MGM properties. Add in the fact that the card typically has a lackluster welcome bonus of 10,000 points after $1,000 in spend during your first 3 months, and you could see why my love of Vegas still hasn't convinced me that this is a good option for me long term. Closing out my list is another fairly unique option with some interesting benefits, and that is the Paceline card. The Paceline card is a very intriguing product, as its earning rates are not only determined by the category of your purchases, but also by your level of physical activity. By default, this card will earn 2.5% back on qualifying health and wellness purchases, including athletic apparel, gym memberships, sporting goods, groceries, and more. All other purchases will earn 1.5% by default. However, the superpower here is the ability to double those rates if you reach your weekly Paceline streak goal, which means having an elevated heart rate for at least 150 minutes during the week. Should you achieve this, you'll earn 5% back on qualifying health and wellness purchases and 3% back on everything else. In case you're wondering, this activity can be tracked using an Apple Watch, and if you don't have one of those, then the card's welcome bonus can help cover the cost over time. While this all sounds great and the 150 minutes a week seems fairly attainable, the big question for me is how long this card will be able to sustain this offer. Also, there's a $60 annual fee to consider, even if you'll need to do a bit of digging on the site to even discover this. At least the cash back will automatically be redeemed for statement credits, so that simplifies things a bit. Still, given the unknown longevity of this product, I'm not quite sold on it, but I reserve the right to change my mind should it stick around. Before I wrap up, I did want to throw in a bit of a bonus, as I did actually recently open a new card, the Bilt Mastercard. Even though I've had my eyes on all of the cards above, somehow a different option made its way to the top of my list as I added the Bilt Mastercard to my wallet last month. Truth be told, while the 1x on rent is a key reason for a person like me who lives in an apartment to apply, the real reason for my interest had more to do with some of the features and logistics that I wanted to explore firsthand in order to review the card. So, on that note, stay tuned for a full review of the Bilt card in the near future. Hopefully this gives you a better idea about what these various cards are all about, but for more on these, I'll have links to some of my articles in the description box down below. Also, if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment, and be sure to subscribe because we have new videos every week. So thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time here on Money at 30.